Okay, we will continue in this article, Shalom, okay, about Putin exposes the truth about evil satanic Western leaders who pillage the world and destroy human freedom. Okay, but first of all, double honors to the elders and apostles. Shalom also to the one-third Israelites, which include the Jewish children, so-called Nikos, Latinos, Macedonians, who are still oppressed together according to the book of Jeremiah 50 and 33, but to whom so late pertained the adoption, the giving of the law, the promises, the glory, and the covenants according to the book of Romans chapter 9. Western countries have been saying for centuries that they bring freedom and democracy to other nations. Nothing could be further from the truth. Instead of bringing democracy, they suppressed and exploited, and instead of giving freedom, they enslaved and oppressed. The unipolar world is inherently anti-democratic and unfree. It is false and hypocritical to atone to. Note that when the Western leaders claim to promoting democracy, they actually mean rigged elections and one world government. When Biden speaks, it's nothing but lies. When Putin speaks, it is the truth. And I believe we went in the last video in the verse about they speak lies from the birth on, man. Okay. Putin truly understands how evil the illegitimate leaders of America have become. The American people share this view, by the way, which is why the people never elected Joe Biden. The 2020 election was, of course, stolen and rigged. About to vote Democrats out of power if we make it to the midterm elections. As Putin says, America's leaders are engaged in parasitism, including their mutilations of children, transgenderism, and grooming, tolerance of human trafficking, open borders, attacks on Christians and conservatives, the building and unleashing of depop shots, bioweapons, and other heinous crimes against humanity, as Putin explains. Let me repeat that the dictatorship of the Western elites targets all societies, including the citizens of Western countries themselves. This is a challenge to all. This complete reunification of what it means to be human, the overthrow of faith and traditional values, and the suppression of freedom are coming to resemble a religion in reverse, pure Satanism, exposing false messiahs. Jesus Christ said in the Sermon on the Mount, by their fruits ye shall know them. Okay, Yahweh. These poisonous fruits are already obvious to people. Okay, that's true. And not only in our country, but also in all countries, including many people in the West itself. This is a key biblical quote, by the fruits ye shall know them. What are the fruits of the satanic US regime? The United Snakes of America, insane transgenderism, child mutilations, abortion, murder, fake fiat currency money printing, censorship, bioweapons, genocide, propaganda, lies, depopulation, and more. At this point, it is increasingly obvious that the US regime in power is arguably more evil than China's communist regime, North Korea's totalitarian regime, or even Stalin's reign of power during the Soviet era. Can't you see? Of course, like a brother said, don't forget that the Russians are still our enemies and things like that, okay? Okay, but at this point, it's kind of like difficult to understand really how the mind of a heathen works, man. Okay, because they basically in the end will make war against Yahweh and the angels. Okay, when they come back, of course, it's not really that they have a chance, but so kind of like first they are all against each other, and then they are all against the invasion. Pure Satanism on display in the illegitimate criminal Biden regime. Russia will not back down because they will never surrender to satanic evil. Americans who bother to read Putin speak will be struck by how much truth it contains, in a sharp contrast to the endless stream of vicious lies coming from the White House, the US State Department, and the corporate media. The West has become an empire of lies or what Wash's Midwiff describes as the Antichrist civilization, a kind of satanic cult of death, destruction, and deception. We the people see this with great clarity. It is 100% true. America's occupying leaders and cultural institutions, universities, public schools, entertainment, news, media, corporations, and more have all been overrun by Luciferians, pedophiles, and Satan worshippers. They all aligned with pure evil, and they seek total domination over the world by any means necessary, including deception, censorship, weapons, weather weapons, false flag attacks, financial terrorism, psychological terrorism from the media, genealogical depopulation, and more. Okay, there are still humans 2022 who don't know what false flag attacks are, okay, or psychological terrorism, okay. Just think about that, man. Russia sees this, and this is why Russia will not back down from the global war, because Russia and Putin realize they are fighting against pure Satanism and Luciferian demons. They know that victory against evil is the only path of survival of Russian civilization and for the future of human civilization itself. Okay, and that's actually true. Okay, even when they are, of course, our enemies, also the Russians. Okay, Gog and Magog. But of course, Gog and Magog, you know, is different than other nations. Okay, just like America is different than other nations. Okay, and you can read it in the Bible. Just read all the chapters where it talks about Gog and Magog. Okay, how Yahweh sees them basically. Okay. Drag queen story time, LGBT demonic indoctrination of children, all celebrated by leftists and the media. If you disagree, you will be labeled a hate offender. As I point out in today's podcast, Chinese civilization, Persian civilization, and Russian civilization are all aligning to destroy the Satanic West. Okay, and Persian civilization, if you don't know, is Iran. Okay, for the simple reason that if the West is allowed to live, planet Earth will be forever enslaved under the dominion of power evil, with no sovereign nations left standing. Globalists demand one world government with total control over all humanity. This is why Putin is eventually going to take this war nuclear, I believe. Okay, it's not that he has any desire to deploy nuclear weapons for their own sake, but whether he realizes that global damage caused by nuclear fallout is less devastating than the global damage to life, liberty, humanity caused by the continued existence of Western civilization as it is currently occupied by Luciferian forces. Humanity can never be free until the globalists cable of criminals, lunatics, pedophiles, and Satanists. And also with that term pedophiles, you have to be careful, because pedophiles, there are different kind of pedophiles. Okay, if you just go by the word pedophile itself, you would say that King David is also a pedophile. Okay, but there are, you know, pedophile is a word, a bigger word. Okay, there are much differences in between that word, where we have different words. Okay, so be careful if you talk about pedophiles. Okay, because men who, for example, like younger women, okay, would be called pedophiles also, but not in the first case. In the first case, they would be called something different, and you can study that. Okay, but the official doctrine is that a woman reaches her legitimate, legit age of marriage when she has her first period. Okay, just saying, because the word pedophile itself is loaded with many negative things. Okay, when most people don't even know the word itself, what it means, and what other words are in it. Okay, or basically the more, to be more accurate, okay? Because pedophile is just like when you say humans, okay? All are humans, but we have different nations, you see? So is it with the word pedophile, because there are different groups in that word, okay? And one group is just the normal biblical behavior of a man that likes a woman when they are in their most beautiful age, which is the flower of the age. Okay, just like King David, just like me, okay? Okay, so even if you say, oh, death to all these pedophiles, okay, you can't say that like that, because, again, King David would be considered a pedophile today also, okay? And I guess you wouldn't say death to King David, okay? I hope at least so. So let's continue. Okay, you want me to prove that real quick? Okay, because we have time, let me get it real quick, okay? You can say, oh, LGBT, okay, that's all wicked. That's wicked, of course, But this word pedophile has more into it. You see, for example, there are epibophilia, okay, it's a different thing, again, okay. For example, epibophilia is the primary section, but they all are in this word group of pedophiles, okay. So there you go. It's the primary sexual interest in mid to late adolescence, generally ages 15 to 19. You see, so are different ages. For example, if somebody feels attracted to women that are from, for example, 9 to 12, it's something different again than epiphobia, but they're all called pedophiles, you see. So you have to be careful, okay? If you know it, you have to be careful, okay? Some may don't know it and using that word pedophile, but actually don't knowing what they're talking about, okay? So let's continue. And I don't look up what, for example, King David had women starting with 9 years old, okay? So I don't look now up how the exact word is for this age, because it's also the age that I like. But you can look that up yourself, and it's basically the same word, okay? It's basically another word than these both words what we was reading, okay? Just that, So let's continue reading. Humanity can never be free until the globalist cabal of criminals, lunatics, pedophiles, and satanists are dismantled and nullified. Okay, and we cleared up what pedophiles are. And Putin realizes that Russia can never be safe as long as the West. Okay, what the Bible is, these with these younger boys and things like that. Okay, that's also pedophilia, but a different way, and a way that is not good. Okay, so that's why this article is first and foremost right. But again, there are different groups that don't have to do with young boys and things like that. Okay, if you don't know. And Putin realizes that Russia can never be safe as long as the West maintains its ability to wage war and threaten Russia's existence, whether you agree or disagree with this conclusion. This is, I believe, Putin's point of view that explains his motivations. Thus, we Americans stand on the verge of nuclear annihilation, not because Putin wants to wage war with we the people, but rather because Putin realizes They need to destroy the satanic evil that has infested Western governments and institutions. Okay. You know, it's kind of that reminds me of the Bible when the law speaks about this is how you shall do away with the evil in your midst. Okay, when you have this one guy who is I don't know that there was an example, where you had a sin to death, and then the judgment therefore was putting this guy or this Israelite to death. Okay, and then it says, so shall you put away evil out of your midst. Okay. But rather because Putin realizes the need to destroy the satanic evil that has infested Western governments and institutions. He is an abortion, child murder advocate celebrating the blood and demonism of destroying human babies. This is celebrated by nearly all Democrats. Okay, and this is not this is not what these people want to see, but it is what they see and they like it. And they will have no excuse if judgment comes to them. Putin, in essence, is now because they're not the hopeful elect teaching this truth, being in the truth day in and out. They're the ones who are celebrating also on that, and they're the ones promoting evil and wickedness. Okay, they're not the ones promoting the gospel. Okay, or the elders and apostles. Putin, in essence, is now Luke Skywalker doing battle with the Empire. Ironically, Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars franchise but has become a raging left-wing woke turd propagandist, is now an ambassador to raise money for Ukraine, the proxy nation for the Darth Vader Empire that's run by Luciferians. Thus, Mark Hamill has quite literally joined the dark side and is now aligned with the pedophiles, child mutilators, and genetical mass murders. Understand that under the control of the satanic globalists, America isn't the good guys in this global conflict. Okay, and also America is the first ones who actually used a nuclear weapon, by the way. Our evil, dishonest leaders are the Darth Vaders of planet Earth running the empire of evil and lies. Okay, and goes to the point where all these nations shall hate her. Okay, let's read that real quick. Okay, because this says the truth, man. Okay, all the nations will hate. This is what you see here, okay. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 hordes which are stars, which are all these nations, okay, even heathens, upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, okay, which is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Okay, ICBM missiles. Our evil, dishonest leaders are the Darth Vaders of planet Earth, running the empire of evil and lies, pillaging and extortion, all other nations of the world while declaring war against the American people through depopulation shots, engineering food scarcity, extreme drought caused by weather weapons, and the coming financial collapse, great reset that is right around the corner. Bottom line, if we the people don't take America back from the Luciferians, Russia will likely destroy America with nuclear weapons, and we will all die. Okay, and this is why the super elites already have the bunkers, because they saw this before this article came out and before other articles came out. Okay, and that's why they have these million $1 million worth bunkers in America, okay, already, okay, because there is actually no way to stop this Luciferian America, because if it would be so, then, you know, people would already do it, okay. So the only way to stop this destruction coming for you is basically the truth, okay. Because eventually a nuclear missile will hit America sooner or later, okay. Like this article says here, okay. Listen to my recent interview with Steve Querley to understand why Russia will likely strike US cities and military targets in a first strike launch, okay. And I can post this in the description box if you want, because this seems really interesting, okay. Is it YouTube? No. Okay, so I will post that article in the description box, okay, because it's not YouTube, so I can't post a link. Can't. Thus we are in a race against time. If we the people can take this country back, make peace with Russia and purge the Satanists from power, it's easy since they all have a D next to their names. We might have a shot at repairing the damage already done and returning our world to a path of abundance and peace. Listen to my full podcast to learn more details that will blow your mind. Warning signs flashing over bank collapse in Europe. Martin Armstrong warns all the pensions are insolvent. Blinking celebrates huge opportunity after Nord Stream sabotage. Germany, okay, Russia even says that Germany was attacked by America, the whore, by actually destroying these pipelines, okay. So Russia heartily believes, okay, and really, you know, I even believe that the whore was the one who destroyed these pipelines. Basically they don't care about Germany, okay. So, you know, Germany wants gas may run out of this winter, while the war in Ukraine escalates to nuclear conflict. Putin is right about the West being run by Antichrist demons. The American empire pillages the world and lies to its own people. The US has used nuclear weapons against civilian targets. Okay, Fukushima, I believe, and Hiroshima also. Inflation hits 17% in the Netherlands. Citrus crops devastated by Hurricane Ian. I don't know why they give the storms names and things like that, okay. Goldman Sachs warns about deindustrialization of Europe. HIMARS artillery systems for Ukraine won't be built for years. Cell towers across Europe will fail this winter as the grid goes down. Property insurers go bankrupt in Florida, okay, because of this iron storm, okay. PS, today's interview ended up being 90 minutes in duration, so it's posted separately at this link on brightpredium.com. Okay, so actually really interesting, okay. So I believe that there are many different articles that are also very interesting, okay, not just that here. The pictures are well selected, you know. Here this, for example, okay, what is that, man? Okay, not just that it's the way it is, okay, teaching these younger children there, but also looking like it looks, okay, with that mask on and things like that, okay. That's clearly not actually, you know, that's clearly not normal, you would say, okay. So of course Putin is fighting against some kind of Satanism, okay, when really all the heathens are basically Satanists, okay. But he is not so wrong at all, you know. Anyway, with that, all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yehoshai, Hashem, Kakodash, Barakatam, okay, and double honors to the elders and apostles of God Wisdom. Okay, this is not just sick, but also very what is it? Yeah, Khan. It's basically sick, social one.